Guides are basically that. They're just guides. They have no function. They help you see, for example, if the horizon's straight or the side of a building is straight. They're just imaginary lines that will help you guide your eye to see whether it is straight. Now, to access the guides, you need to have your rulers on, and I leave my rulers on all the time. If you don't see your rulers, just go up to View and then click onto Rulers. Now, once you've got your rulers, then all you need to do is move your mouse cursor up to the ruler, get your mouse pointer, click, hold and drag that down where the horizon line is. Now, I know this image is crooked on the horizon. I've used this in a number of tutorials. And what I tend to do is, with this one, I look to the left-hand side. Even if you place the guideline on the right-hand side, you can see that the horizon is not straight. So I'm just going to place that there. And then you can look at it and go, well, that's certainly not a straight horizon. Now, if I wanted to see if the building here, the little pump house, was straight, I can grab my vertical guide and click, hold and drag it across. And I can actually see whether that's straight. All it is just seeing whether I've got a straight horizon or the building. But let's say I don't want these guides anymore. I'll come back up to View, and then I'll go Guides, and then I'll go Clear Guides. That turns them off. All right, let's come back and bring the guideline down from the horizontal. I'll click, hold and drag. Place that there. So now I definitely see that it's crooked, it's not straight. What am I going to do to straighten it? And it's like anything in Photoshop, there's many ways that you can do it. Sometimes it's a personal preference, sometimes it's what you got shown and you think that's the only way. But I'll come back and I'm going to clear the guides again. Now for me, what I tend to do is I let Photoshop do the grunt work and see what it can do for me. So one of the techniques that I'll use is go up to Filter, then I'll go to Camera Raw, then I'll come over to like the crop icon over here on the right-hand side. It's called Geometry. And then I've got some options here. I can go Auto, I can do the horizon, apply a level correction. Let's click on that and see what it does, because that was a very crooked horizon. I'll come back and just click on Auto and see what it does, and I'll click on OK. Now I've let Photoshop or Adobe Camera Raw do the grunt work and straighten the horizon. When I look at the image, I think, oh, is it? So that's when I'll come and grab the guide. I'll click, hold and drag down and I'll place it there, and I can still see that it's crooked. So I'll just drag the guide up to the ruler and I tuck it away in there and I let it go. So now I think, well, okay, I need to straighten this. So I'll go to the crop tool. I'll click on the crop tool. And then when you've clicked on the crop, just up at the top, you'll see straighten. So I'm going to click on straighten and you get like a little chalk. Well, it looks like a chalk icon to me. And I'm going to click, hold and drag across where I think it gives me a straight line. And then I'll let go of the mouse and we'll see what it's done. Now, it may not straighten it, depending on how crooked your horizon is. So I'll come down to the bottom corner here when I get the double-headed arrow, and I just give it a little bit of a nudge up in these grids to get it straight. And now I look at that and I think that's straight. I'm going to let go of my mouse and I have a look at it. Then I might drag the guideline down again, and it's not done a bad job. I'm going to drag the guideline back up, tuck that away. I'm now going to click on the tick, and this is where Photoshop does the magic. It straightened it. it actually now is doing generating. So it's filling in those gaps, those transparent pixels. Back in the day, this was a nightmare to try and get all those pixels in with this generative fill or generative expand. It's brilliant. So let's have a little look at it. It's done a fabulous job, and I'm happy with that. But I just want to make sure the horizon's straight. So I'm going to come up and get my guide, and I'm going to drag that down, and it's pretty straight. And this is why I use the guides. It's basically just to help me see whether that horizon or the side of a building is straight. I used to rely on my eye, and then I found what I thought looked straight didn't necessarily come out on some of my images when I put them into competition. So I learnt very quickly to try and use these guides. Now, when I don't want the guide, I'll come back to View, and I'll go Guides, and then I'll go Clear Guides. And that's how I use the guides, both horizontal and vertical. This quick tip is to show you how useful Photoshop guides can be. Don't always rely on your eye. Use the tools that are available to help you make sure you've got a straight horizon or an edge of a building.